Alright guys, welcome back to our Hammering at Home series where we take one point from this past message that Pastor Joel spoke on and we begin just to apply it, devour it, and just apply it to our lives, alright? Now remember, we meet every Friday at 6:30 at the church in the church parking lot until further notice. We social distance, so everyone stays in the car, so we abide by all the rules and stuff like that. Everybody wear masks, and so we just have a good time. Now this past Friday, Pastor spoke out of Mark, because we're still in Mark chapter 3, verse 7 through 12. And this is what it says. Jesus withdrew with his disciples to the lake, and a large crowd from Galilee followed. When they heard about all he was doing, many people came to him from Judea, Jerusalem, Udema, and the regions across the Jordan and around Tyre and Sidon. Because of the crowd, he told his disciples to have a small boat ready for him to keep the people from crowding him. For he healed many, so that those with diseases and pushing forward to touch him. Whenever the impure spirits saw him, they fell down before him and they cried out, "You are the Son of God." But he gave them strict orders not to tell others about him. Now, Pastor talked about several things through that passage, and he talked about some other stuff as well. But the one thing that he talked about too was the fact that Jesus told his impure spirits to not say anything. Because when he came close to them, or whenever they saw Jesus, they would start proclaiming who Jesus was. And growing up, I would think, well, why would he tell these things to not do that? Why would he tell these impure spirits not to say that thing? And one of the analogies that he used was that it was bad advertisement, right? It was bad advertisement for who Jesus was. He didn't want to be known, obviously, for these impure spirits, part of him, and all that kind of stuff, right? It's just bad advertisement. And sometimes we're like that. I'm not saying that we have impure spirits and stuff like that, but we have things that influence in our life that are bad advertisements for God, right? Our mouth says that we love Jesus, right? Our Facebook says that we love Jesus sometimes. And there are other things in our lives that are bad advertisements for Jesus and who he is, right? I guarantee you, I'm not saying that we have to be perfect. We serve a perfect God. I'm not saying that anybody's perfect. What I'm saying is sometimes there's things in our lives that we have control over that are bad advertisements for God, right? Sometimes it's our interaction on social media. Like, I promise you that there's stuff that we post throughout the day, throughout the week, throughout the month, throughout the year that doesn't glorify God. That honestly, it goes on the opposite of glorifying God. It actually puts God to the back of our priorities, and it puts our flesh in front of him, right? There's things that we do in the secret that nobody knows that we do, and the things that we think that are bad advertisements for God and Christianity and just God in general, right? We have to remember that those things in our lives that are bad advertisements, proclaiming God's love and proclaiming God for who he is, isn't going to attract anybody. All right? You can see that when Jesus was moving, Jesus attracted a crowd because he lived the life that he was supposed to. He spoke and he loved people, and he did the things that he was supposed to do. And so should we. Our lives should be like that. Our lives should attract people around us. It shouldn't let people question if you're really Christian or not, right? We have to stay fast and stay in our lane of being a Christian and a God-fearing, God-loving person, okay? We can't have people question our motives. We don't want people questioning whether we are Christian or not, right? What sets us apart? Why do we call ourselves Christians other than the simple fact that we want to be saved and we want to go to heaven? I think everybody, if they had a choice, they would choose heaven than hell. But there are some things that we had to remember that comes with following Jesus. Our lives have to be different. It cannot be the same as the people that are not believing in God, the people that are trying to look for answers in life. We have to be that hand. We have to be the person that helps them as well, because God's going to use us. We just have to be willing. So please remember, there are things in our lives that are bad advertisements, whether it's our social media, the things we do, the things we say, how we treat people, how we spend our money, because that's a big thing, and how we just honestly raise our kids. But yeah, guys, so let's take this time and identify those things in our lives that are bad advertisement for the Lord. Because we want to make sure that our life shines bright and brings people to God and doesn't scare people away, all right? All right, guys, so now in these next couple moments, let's start identifying the things in our lives that are bad advertisement for the Lord. We know what those things are. We know what we fall short in, but we want to make sure that we identify them and give them to the Lord so that our lives are good identification for the Lord, and it brings people to us. It doesn't have people go away and scare people away from the Lord as well. So we'll see you guys in the next one. Stay safe, stay warm. We'll see you guys next Tuesday.